Hello.
Hello?
Hello. What's up, bro?
Hey, this is the What's Up Bro podcast. We talk about movies, TV, geek stuff, news, pop culture, and it's funny, motherfucker! With Nary Signs, you know the question is not on here that I could have said yes to would have been a cock ring. I'm like, oh, I've done that. Jeff.
It was called Bibbidi Bobbidi Doorknob.
Stephanie.
The only reason he was invited was because he was dating my friend. It was like a pity invite. And he was like one of the first people to get there. What a loser.
And we have Missy.
Yes, I'm here.
Is also here.
Missy is also here. A girl has no last name.
Not anymore, am I right? Huh? And special correspondence with Steph Mayer Sr.
Yeah, I don't have to look cute for you.
And this is the What's Up Bro podcast.
That's how winning is done.
Hey, I'm Dave Chappelle, and this is What's Up, Bro.
What up, girl? How you doing?
Oh, end of the world. Everything's under control.
It's fine. Everything's fine. How you still went to school yesterday, though? Even with the end of the world?
Well, I have class online now.
Oh, so it was... Oh, okay. Have you been doing it the whole time?
Online?
Yeah.
No, I've been going physically. Do you listen when I talk? I've been going physically from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturdays since August. But now since FIU changed everything to online, now it's the same thing, but online.
But they changed it because of the virus?
Yeah, the university is shut down.
So they could have been doing this for the whole time.
Well, I chose not to do the online program. I chose to do the in-person program.
Oh. Do you get a discount? Do you get a rebate?
A rebate?
Yeah.
Yeah. The in-person program is cheaper, yes, by like $20,000.
Oh, wow. It's cheaper to go in person?
Yes, sir.
That doesn't seem to make any sense.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
So how many days have you been in your house?
Yesterday I went out.
Oof.
And
girl.
Friday.
Where'd you go out yesterday?
Wait, where did I do Friday?
Thursday was your birthday. Happy birthday, girl! And then Friday, what'd you do? What'd you do Friday?
I don't remember.
Ooh,
I don't remember what I did Friday.
You got fucked up. Nice.
I don't remember what I did Friday. I honest to God don't. But then yesterday I was home all day, but I went to throw axes for Lisa's birthday, and then I went to Red Robin, and then I came home, and today I went to Publix to waste my time, basically, because there was nothing there.
There was nothing at Publix. Which Publix did you go to?
The one on Flagler and by my mom's house, and on 82nd.
Is that the one by the Target?
No, it's after the Target.
Oh, no.
It's closer to the Home Depot where you went to buy a toilet once.
Oh, okay. Right.
Well, I mean, there was stuff, but it was like, there was no egg, no chicken, no toilet paper, no Clorox, like all the things that everybody is hoarding.
I didn't know people were hoarding eggs. Now I'm upset because I actually love eggs. Like regular eggs. I don't need like end of the world eggs. I just need like regular eggs.
No, but you can't even get regular eggs. Like not even like there was not even one like sad little left behind carton of eggs.
With like four broken, empty. 4 of them are broken.
No, none of those. Well, they took those shits home too.
That's hilarious. I wonder what I'm gonna eat now, because that's all I eat is eggs. Well, I'm trying to.
Are you home or are you still on the ship?
No, I got home yesterday, man. Do you ever listen when I talk? Ever?
You 100% did not tell me at any point.
I texted it a million times yesterday. I even put, oh my God, T-Mobile for the clutch, free in-flight Wi-Fi. I even sent a screenshot.
All right. You're stupid and I hate you.
Jesus. You never listen to me. It's like fucking, what's her name? Stephanie. I posted a funny ass Chuck Norris meme one person laughs at it, and then hours later she posts it, and it's like, oh, really? Go fuck me then. Go fuck myself. I guess I didn't post it. So, no,
Okay,
what?
What?
I said
What?
I was just gonna say I got home yesterday, and then that's it. And I've been in self quarantine or social distancing, whatever. My brother-in-law came over yesterday, and I don't know if it was his birthday yesterday or if he's just celebrating his birthday. But last night he was trying to get my wife, his sister, to go to karaoke, and I was like, this is a bad. I'm like, this is not. I go, look, it's one thing where I'm actively thinking maybe I'll go to the movies, right? Because there's less than 250 people in a specific theater, right? Like in a viewing. So I'm thinking to myself, maybe I could go to the theater, maybe I go to the movies, and then which is already risky enough. Like I acknowledge the fact that it's not the smartest thing. It's not the dumbest thing, but it's also not the smartest move. And here he comes talking about karaoke where people are going to be singing into a microphone and then passing it on to the next asshole that comes and they're going to be talking into that same microphone. I'm like, this is not a good decision. This is not a good idea.
Did she go?
Well, she didn't go, but not because of anything of coronavirus related. It's just because she goes to him, when is it? At what time are you guys going to go? And then he goes, well, we're leaving at 9. And she's like, at night? And that was it. That was the end of that. There was no more. Yeah, there was no more of that. So, but this has put a stop on everything. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I can't believe you're willing to go throw axes and you're willing to go to Red Robin, but you're not willing to come over my house to record a podcast.
I'm actually really disappointed that it took you this long to slap me with that. So I think you need to figure out what's going on in your head.
Boring.
Yeah. Are you recording right now, you sack of shit?
Welcome to the What's Up Bro podcast. Missy has had no idea that we've been recording for the last 6.5 minutes, but we have
I'm
been.
doing homework. What are you doing? I paused my homework to take your call. God damn it. You're the fucking worst.
Oh, I was wondering. I was like, how am I gonna let her know? How am I gonna let her know?
Oh my god. Honestly, and it's not even fun homework. I'm looking shit up on Excel spreadsheets.
There's no such thing as fun homework. There's no
yes,
fucking
there is.
such
There's
thing.
Tons of fun homework. You're just stupid and you don't like school.
No.
Are you just recording to test out all the new sounds that you put in?
That was the only new sound. I have another one, but I've already done it on another podcast. This is the other one.
That'll be the day.
That's it.
Was that just specifically to whenever Dave talks?
This one is this.
No.
Well, thank God I wasn't talking shit about anyone the first 15 minutes we were talking to each other.
Well, there's still time. Relax. We can still talk shit about
I
people.
figured. I'm like, he sounds weird, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad reception. No, this motherfucker's been recording for 20 minutes.
How do I sound weird? How does it sounds different? Well, we're not doing video.
Like
First of all, we're not doing a video phone call, so that's already.
I understand.
Already
but
weird.
What I'm saying is that.
What are you saying?
You sound like you're on a landline. You remember those landlines?
Landlines. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Landlines.
Well, I don't know, but anyway, how long have we been recording, you fucker?
8 minutes and 12 seconds.
Well, what's new with you?
I told you I've been so you don't want to come over and record a podcast because you're afraid of catching something that you didn't catch at the axe throwing place or Red Robin. Can we get back to that for a moment?
So here's the thing with anxiety. Here's the thing about Yeah, oh boy, your ass.
Hold on.
because you
Hold
asked
on. I didn't know where I was gonna file this excuse. I didn't. Let me open up the anxiety folder. It's pretty full in there. So let me see if I can make some room. Go ahead. You were saying? I don't give a fuck. That's hilarious. I don't give a shit.
You guys can't see it, but I'm flipping him off.
To the listener, she's flipping me off. Hey, are you did you get the new AirPods?
Did I get the new AirPods? Yes, I did.
But was it the Pro, the AirPod Pro?
Yeah.
I want to test those out because I didn't know that was a thing. And then after you told me your story of how you were reckless with your money, then I got ads for the AirPod Pro, but I didn't know because you never told me you never used the word Pro, so I didn't know that there was a different design. Now I kind of.
No, I wasn't reckless with my money. I waited 6 months to make sure that I had the money, and I paid other things off.
So you bought.
Yeah, honestly.
So you buy headphones.
Let me
you buy headphones. Wait, hold on. You buy headphones that you needed because you didn't have any other headphones, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought that you had 2 other pairs of Beats headphones.
I don't. You've been misinformed. Anyway, God, you're annoying. Why did you call me?
I don't know. I'm dumb. I miss my friend. So stupid. And when she wasn't available, I called you. I was being such a dick. I'm sorry. I caught myself on that one. I was being such a dick. It's either this or look at spreadsheets. You don't like spreadsheets. You hate spreadsheets.
Right now, I would prefer the fucking spreadsheets than your ass. I gotta tell you.
I don't have an ass. Wah, 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 wah.
Boring.
Oh no, that's the wrong one.
Well, I'm excited because I have a doctor's note from the entire planet that I need to stay home as much as possible. And
make sure you go to throw axes though. That's important because people throwing this, people handling the same axes with their dirty hands. That's not dangerous at all.
Okay. Well, honestly, I could not want to talk to you less right now.
Oh.
You're being that much of an a-hole.
Challenge accepted. No, I'm kidding. So I have the kids here, and I told you that I set up the Apple TV in the bedroom. We've had it in the living room for years, but now we got a new one for the bedroom.
Tell me that story. How did that happen? You weren't reckless with your money, right?
No, not at all. I sold the other Apple TV that I have that I don't have the remote for. I sold it on OfferUp. So,
but was that before or after you got the new one?
It was. I put it for sale on OfferUp on the way to go buy the new one because I knew it was gonna sell.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was gonna sell.
Okay.
So
technicalities. Go ahead.
Not technicalities. Listen, let me explain to you something about anxiety. Okay, I was very anxious when the Apple TV in my bedroom wasn't working.
No, you don't get to make a joke about anxiety because it's a real thing.
Of course, it's a real thing.
It's a real thing that people deal with.
But everything that I joke around is about a real thing. I don't joke around from fark on rockins. That's a word that I just made up. You see?
The fuck is that?
It's something I just made up. So that's the only thing I could joke around about. It's about things that aren't real. That's how. Is that our logic? Is that our logic? I went to Super Bowl. I don't know if you know.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was really impressive.
Wow, I wonder what that's like.
It was nice. It was pretty awesome. For 3.5 quarters, it was amazing.
Okay, well.
And then the other shoe dropped.
I think what dropped was the point.
Or should I say cleat? Or should I say cleats? The other cleat dropped? I think that's a thing. Did you see the new poster for the new Wonder Woman?
No, but I can Google it. Hold on.
It's pretty impressive. Patty Jenkins released it on, I want to say Twitter.
When? Like recently?
Yesterday, I think, or the day before, maybe. So yeah, recently, to answer your question.
Oh, I'm staying away from...
Hey, do you like Hamilton?
I didn't go to Hamilton.
Oh, because you're wearing a shirt, so I thought you liked Hamilton.
Oh, I thought you were saying, like, did you like Hamilton? Like, I watched it recently. Yes, I did like Hamilton when I saw it a couple years ago. Oh, this poster is awesome. Oh, it looks so cool.
And it's called the Golden Eagle. Her Golden Eagle.
The Golden... That looks awesome.
I'm still like kind of like waiting to see what Cheetah looks like. If they're gonna make her an actual cheetah.
What?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if they actually make her a cheetah. Because the villain in the movie is Cheetah. That's who
Is
Kristen...
Vanessa in the room with you?
No, that's my daughter. She's in the kitchen. And she thinks that I don't know what she's doing, but I see exactly what she's doing. The villain in Wonder Woman in the next one is going to be Cheetah. In the comics, Cheetah is a woman who got the powers of...
No, don't tell me.
The powers of some goddess in the Amazon, but with those powers come that she looks like an actual cheetah. Like she has a tail in the whole nine. In the comics, it's doable because it's a fucking comic book. So you're fine. But I don't know how that's going to look on a movie where it's based in quote-unquote reality. But also, it'd be kind of cheesy if they didn't do it like what they did with Rhino and Spider-Man, where they made him into a metal suit. And you're like, oh, that's fucking stupid. So, I don't know. But in the comics, Cheetah is an awesome, awesome villain. It's like, she's like, matches Wonder Woman pretty closely. As far as fighting and shit like that.
I zoned out completely from what you just said because I don't want to know anything about the movie other than the movie.
But I'm not telling you about I'm not telling you anything about the movie.
I know, but I don't even want to know about like what the characters, who's who, and everything. Like I just, you know what I mean? Like I just want to go in there blindly.
You're being
with
dumb.
No opinion.
You're being dumb. But there's no opinion about how is that? How is there an opinion about what I said? I talked about the comic books. There's no opinion about what I said about the movie.
No, it's not an opinion. You're telling me about the villain, right?
I'm telling you about the villain in the comic books. In the comic books.
Right. But isn't he supposed to be the villain in this movie too?
Well, that's what I'm at. That's what I just said out loud. I said I don't know how they're gonna do that. Are they gonna do that? If I don't know what they're gonna do, they're not saying. They haven't showed what they're gonna do. That's the actual whole conversation that I just had. Do you listen when I speak?
No, man. It's honestly like for survival. I tune in and out sometimes. Did you just screenshot something?
No. I did not screenshot anything.
Well, you're going to be home for a while. Are you excited?
I'm going to be home for a while. A while indeed.
Ever since they said don't touch your face, that's all I want to do. Like, there's some of these recommendations that they've been given is like awful.
The only one is don't touch your face and wash your hands. Which one has been awful?
No, because you don't. Because I never realized how much I touch my face until I'm like, oh, don't touch your face. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like now when they say, oh, you could, like some people, I think the World Health Organization said something like, you could have no symptoms and still be infected. Now if I sneeze because I have allergies in the morning, I'm like, am I fucking dying or do I have my regular allergies?
Well, that's not the first. That's not the first thing that comes up. The coughing is the first that comes up. Coughing and difficulty to breathe are the first symptoms that come up.
I mean, I have difficulty to breathe not because I'm sick.
That's what I told. I was like, yeah, I'm just fat. I'm like, I just climbed up the stairs. Relax, take it easy. But it's the cough that does it, and then you have cough, and you have your throat hurts from what the professionals are saying. From what the professionals. Hey, do you want to get somebody else on the call? You want to call Stephanie?
No, she's at an event. She's not able to answer.
She still has an event going? Good for her, man. Good for her.
Yeah, none of her clients have canceled for her.
Because her clients are like, I've already spent half the money. I might as well go all the way and spend all the money.
I think it was like a baby shower or something that she's doing today. I'm not sure. But But yeah, for people that like being home, like I think the only part of this that's stressful is that, like, if this was a hurricane that we were waiting for, like, I've been through enough prep that I know what I need to do, like, and how to prepare and what to expect. But for something like this, like, it's never been done before. There's a bunch of conflicting information. You don't know who to listen to, and then you don't know what's gonna happen next. Like, we're shut down. Like, I'm working from home until further notice. I'm going to school online now until further notice. And all big fun, anything you might want to do for fun is either frowned upon or canceled. And nobody knows. Like, everyone's like, oh, a month. But yeah, but then what happens after that? Like, I have an important, like, medical thing next month. I don't know if that's going to change. Like, it's too many what ifs that stress me the F out.
Yeah, I'm not stressed about any of that. I was just stressed about money because the cruise ship stopped working for 30 days. And they're like, yeah. But they paid me out of the 3 weeks that I had between now and 30 days, for the next 30 days, they paid me for 1.5, almost 2 of them. It was a weird breakdown of how they did it, but they paid me for... So I'm not going to go 30 days without any money at all. So
wait, you broke up in the middle. They paid you for what? For 2 weeks?
For like, it's almost 2 weeks. It was like out of the... I was going to be out for 21 days, and they're paying me for 19 of them, or 18 of them. Is it? Something like 7. I gotta remember. So it was that was 7. I was gonna be gone for 21. I know it was three week-long cruises, so 7, 14, 21. And out of those 21, they're paying me for 7, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, no, like 14. Yeah, so like 2 of them. They're paying me for 2 weeks out of the 3. So there's one that I'm not gonna get paid for at all. That got canceled on me. The other ones got canceled with pay. So
that's good.
Yeah, like I was stressing out for a day and a half once once it was tweeted that the cruise line that I work for, the one that I usually work for, is going to shut down operations for 30 days. Then I started getting nervous because I didn't know what was going to happen. That lasted about a day, maybe a day. I would say, from the last half of Thursday to Friday, and then Friday I got the email from the office because they're in meetings all day, and then what happens is they're in meetings, they find out, departments find out, then the departments take actions depending on what they're told, and then that means contacting each individual employee. So I knew for me it was gonna. So it took like a day, but when they finally contacted me, they told me, this is what's gonna happen, and they said this contract's gonna be paid, this one's not. I'm like, okay. So again, I was just worried about no income coming in. Now I just gotta, it's doable now. Just tying my belt type of deal. But I'm not stressed at all. I'm like, all right, whatever happens. I don't think in the logic of, and I get this. I know people are like, what's gonna happen in 30 days? I'm like, I'm not stressing that out now. We're gonna see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, there's no point of even thinking that far ahead right now. So I'm gonna enjoy my kids. I'm going to enjoy recording podcast via phone because nobody wants to come over to my house. I like the fact that Jeff was like, we could do podcast on the phone. And I was like, well, I expect that because he's a nervous Nelly, so I understand. And then, like 2 minutes later, his wife chimes in and she goes, I have a strep throat. I was like, maybe I don't want Jeff in my house. maybe that's not the best thing for me to have him in my house. No thanks, patient 1. Because patient 0, you get it. It's fine. It's a whole thing. So are you going to watch the movie Outbreak or Contagion during this time?
No, I'm going to watch all of Tom Hanks' movies to help him recover.
They are all trending. Those movies are all Contagion and Outbreak. They're trending on Netflix for the week.
We're a sick motherfucking species, let me tell you.
For like the last week and a half, they've been trending and they're only going up. Like a week and a half ago, there were Outbreak was the number 7 movie, most watched stream movie in Netflix. And I don't know what it was this week, but it's still in the top 10. So is Contagion is now also in the top 10. I mean, it
like
makes
I
sense.
said,
I don't think that's sick.
It's stupid. It's stupid to fucking like. That's what adds to the hysteria, though.
No,
Like, people
I
that
don't.
watch that movie and they're taking notes. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, but that's actually a good movie to. That's actually a good movie to watch to take notes of. Like, hey, stay in your house. Don't go around people. Don't contaminate other people. Don't steal monkeys from the jungle.
You know who
Like,
else
these
is
are
saying
also
that?
very smart things to do. Like, if
Yes,
you watch,
but you know
like, if you're watching World War Z for notes, probably not the best idea.
But what I'm saying is, if the other option is to go to the World Health Organization and look up what they're recommending or what their updates are, and then you get offline.
Yeah, but there's no entertainment value to that. Outbreak has a good entertainment value.
Can you let me finish?
Okay.
And then you put something on that's entertaining but not too real, just so you can like the escapism can help you a little bit. Maybe that's just my perspective on the thing.
I think you're a very nervous person. I don't see anything wrong with watching.
I don't really need the diagnosis because I kind of know what it is and how to manage it. I'm just saying that like it doesn't make sense to me to want to watch something that's like doomsday-ish when there's enough already doomsday-ish shit going around. That's my perspective.
Here's the thing. I would rather watch Contagion back to back with Outbreak than watch Charlie's Angels. So that's where I'm at.
And the only reason you can say that fucking statement is because you watched Charlie's Angels in the movie theater.
So you see, watching something that's people. That's a sick species. People who want to watch that movie. That's sick. That's something that like you guys need help.
No,
you guys need help.
What's sick is people that go in there going, I'm not gonna like this movie, but my BFF insisted that this is what we're watching. But I'm gonna stay anyway, even though this is gonna be awful. And then the other person going, "This is gonna be great. You're being negative."
I didn't say it was gonna be great. I did not say it was gonna be great. I never claimed that it was going to be great. I said the trailer was good. Let's watch it.
But the trailer and the movie are two different animals.
Very true. Very true.
They pitched you the sale in the trailer, but then they fell flat as fuck.
It's the old bait and switch. The old bait and switch. So
yeah.
But I'm okay. I'm okay with going out in public. I obviously restricting flattening the curve, as they're calling it. Restricting large, massive groups. I totally get. Shout out to the Miami Improv, who has reduced their showroom. They've closed off part of their showroom that they're only allowing 250 people to buy tickets for shows, which is pretty, like, as far as a money, like, you know what I mean, when you're a corporate entity, your whole existence is to make as much money as humanly possible. And for them to say, like, no, we're going to cut it off at 250 people, which is the recommendation by the World Health Organization and by everybody.
So that's because $0 is a lot worse than $half.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, that there's a lot of employees there, servers and cooks and management.
That's what I'm saying is that it's better. It's better for all of them. Like for organizations, like for instance, like how the NBA canceled, and there's certain players who are volunteering to cover the salaries for the arena employees and shit like that.
With that
like
said, hold on real quick. I'm really kind of disappointed in LeBron because I thought LeBron would be leading the way in that, and there's no word as of right now, as of today, March 12th or March 13th. He has not said.
March 15th.
So close. As of March 15th, he has not said that he's going to pay for Staples Center employees. But go ahead, yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is that the NBA has the luxury of having millionaire players that will cover for arenas, like the arena employees. I don't think the Improv has that kind of cash on them. So it's better for everyone if they just cut in half and keep it going than if they just close down completely. It'll be a lot harder to catch up when this thing finally picks up again.
That would be pretty baller of like Kevin Hart to be like, I'm going to cover the Improv staffs.
Not in Miami.
No, not Miami. I'm giving you he wouldn't do LA. He'd be doing Philly. That's where he started. He's from Philly. That's where
Whatever.
he wouldn't be doing the LA one. But
I was close.
that would be pretty. It's
It's the same country, is it not?
not if you ask the GOP, damn Californians. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't watch The Masked Singer at all, but it was a huge ruckus, like in non-pandemic news this past week. That one
We
of
should come up with theme music in non-pandemic news.
Yeah.
Like the segment of non-pandemic news.
Like Sarah Palin ended up being one of the masked singers on the show.
You want to try it one more time? Try it one more time. Try it one more time. Try it one more time.
No. And then it was like bananas that everyone was going crazy because she'd been singing on the show for a couple of weeks. And my thing was, who was watching Russia in the backyard of her house while she was in fucking Los Angeles? And also, kudos to her for getting on a plane and not thinking it's going to fall off the face of the earth when it reaches the edge. So honestly, there's hope, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, in all fairness, this was all recorded months ago, before the pandemic. So they don't, you know what I mean? The people that you're watching dancing and jiggling, they're not thinking, oh, there's a world crisis going on. To counter that point, to counter myself, she's part of the GOP, and they're not really thinking, they're thinking it's still a hoax to talk shit about the president.
Not anymore. You know what people were saying? They're like, shit is serious when Trump is saying a speech by reading it off a teleprompter. Yeah. He's sitting his pants.
Well, yeah. Apparently he doesn't have it as of right now. As of March 15th, that's the goal. That's the word on the street, is that he does not have it, which nobody believes. But that's what we're saying.
I honestly, I just think that this kind of scenarios are just, they're crazy. They're like, it's a lot to handle. Especially since you've never, this is my first pandemic. Have you ever been through a pandemic before?
Of course. We've been through SARS. We've been through the swine flu. Every year there's a pandemic. Every year.
That was a pandemic?
Yeah, all of them. They just weren't pandemic.
No, that wasn't a pandemic.
They weren't pandemics in the United States, maybe, but they were pandemics. SARS was definitely there. What was the other one? What was the other one? Yeah, it's like a panda that is also a medic. It's a pandemic.
No, you're close. You're close, but
how great is that? That mental picture of a panda who's also a medic. Because a panda wearing the little white hat with the cross.
Yeah, but it never ceases to amaze me how funny you think you are. I don't think anybody laughs as hard as your own jokes like you do. But anyway, a pandemic is a disease epidemic that has spread across a large region, for instance, multiple continents or worldwide.
That's exactly what I said.
That is not what you just said.
That's exactly. SARS did that, and then there was the other one, the other one that people at the White House thought that they had when Obama was in office, like 2 years, or not 2 years ago. Like
SARS was an epidemic, not a pandemic, and there's a difference.
Okay.
So, and then what was the other one you mentioned?
There was a few of them. SARS, swine flu. Every year is a new one. What was the other one? There was one that was more serious.
In 2009, the swine flu was a pandemic. So there you got one. Mm-hmm. And then I think it was Ebola, though.
That's the one. That's the one. People were going crazy over that one. Yeah.
Ebola was a global epidemic, yeah. So it wasn't a pandemic. The only pandemic out of
what's the difference between a pandemic and a global epidemic? Because the whole thing, pandemic means multiple continents. So wouldn't that be a global epidemic? Isn't that the actual definition of pandemic is global epidemic?
I'm looking up the difference between epidemic and pandemic.
But not epidemic, global epidemic. That means it's crossing continents and countries.
Oh, there was a Zika virus.
Oh, the Zika virus. That was an epidemic.
Yeah, but that was an epidemic.
Yeah, but that was an epidemic that was in our backyard. Literally, they were saying don't go to Wynwood. That's how bad it was.
Wait.
Okay, we're waiting.
Well, it's really, I don't know. I wasn't prepared to research this out of the blue, but it says epidemic, which is a sudden increase in the number of cases and is more than what's expected for an area. And then pandemic. So previous pandemics, one was the Spanish flu of 1918, which this article, I'm reading this verbatim. It goes, some previous examples of pandemics include the Spanish flu, H1N1 virus of 1918. And then in parentheses, it says, fans of the Twilight series may remember that Edward Cullen almost died during
So it was serious, people. It was serious. That was a serious pandemic. It almost killed Edward Cullen.
This is from health.usnews.com. That is where that sentence is posted. Okay. In 1968, there was a pandemic caused by an influenza A virus that killed 1 million people worldwide, including 100,000 in the United States. A pandemic may sound scarier than an epidemic, but it all depends on where you live.
Right, because
So pandemic is more concerning for the world, but if you live where there is an epidemic going on, that's just as concerning for you.
Yeah.
This is not answering any of my questions.
I think a pandemic is an epidemic that has spread through multiple continents, making it a pandemic. Okay. Like you're panning over. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's what that means, man.
Yeah, but like 5 minutes ago, you said a pandemic was a panda.
A medical panda? I mean, that's also not. I don't think that's false either. I mean, prove that wrong, really.
I don't want to. I don't want to do the research to prove you're wrong.
But I think that's a thing. I think so. What I forgot the Ebola when it was like a worldwide epidemic. That's the definition of pandemic. I mean, from what you're reading to me, that's what that sounds like. So the worldwide epidemic is a pandemic. All of these are really bad. So when you said, "Oh, I've never lived through a pandemic," yes, you have. You've lived through a few of them.
Yeah, but
the difference is, can I be honest with you? And can I be honest with you? And I don't want to. I don't mean to be that. I don't want to be that guy. But
you're going to.
But the only difference about this one is the amount of media coverage. That's it. That's the only difference.
Are you gonna do that?
No, but it's not even. It's not even. This is not an opinion. There's actual statistics proving that that they show. There's like a thing, a chart, and I'll send it to you, showing that the word coronavirus, the phrase coronavirus in the media has been said 10 million times. I'm giving an example. I don't know how many millions, but it's millions of times more so in a condensed period of time, more so than they did swine flu, more so than they did Zika, more so than they did Ebola. When the media is using these words over and over and over and over and over again, it gets into people's minds. We here in South Florida know this. Because whenever the hurricane comes, the fucking media shuts down and all they talk about is hurricane coverage, and that makes people go crazy. So this is not me being the crazy, what. This is like there's actual man. I'm gonna send you the chart now. I sent it to you guys. You know who tweeted it? If it wasn't Alyssa Milano, it was Kristen, the one who's married to Dak Shepard. I forget her name. Kristen
Bell.
Yeah, Kirsten Bell. It was one of those two women because I follow them on Instagram, and they shared that. They shared the numbers where it's like it's a slideshow. It's like you have to slide it, and one of them is like showing you how many more millions of times the media in a time span of like a week or two has used these words. More so than these other words during the other pandemics. That's the only reason, dude.
Right.
And I'm not saying this is not serious. I'm not saying by no means am I saying go fucking lick, stairwells and fucking and just put other people's hands.
You should do that even if there isn't.
Yeah, but my point is, I am not saying that this is all bullshit and that, bro, whatever. I'm not gonna get sick. No, it's a definite thing. But so was Zika was a definite thing. Like I had friends of mine working. I was working on cruise ships, and I had friends of mine who would not get off on islands because they didn't want to get bit by mosquitoes and then go back and get their wives pregnant, and then that was a whole thing, like affecting women of childbearing years and all this stuff. And I get it, I understand that, but to make this one seem like this is new, no, it's not. The only thing that's new is the amount of time.
Okay, but I don't remember in the last few times that school was switched to online and jobs were accommodating work at home to keep functioning. I don't remember
all of that is because, and again, not saying that they shouldn't be doing this, not saying that they shouldn't have done it for Zika, not saying that they shouldn't have done it. None of that. All of this is a byproduct of how much the media attention this has gotten. Again, these are good things. It's good to shut down the schools. It's good. I mean, look, I'm financially, I am taking a hit. And I hope to God that this gets settled within the next 30 days, because I don't know if I could survive another 30 days after that. So my point to you is this. All of these byproducts are good things. It should have happened. However, they're all byproducts of the attention the media is giving this. If there was something else going on, and it doesn't hurt the media cause that there's nothing else going on in the world. There, you know what I mean? North Korea is not shooting nuclear. North Korea is not shooting off nuclear bombs in the air anymore right now. They've taken a break for this.
Okay. Yes. However, we do have an election coming up that isn't getting any attention, and I think what I've been trying to say is that, to your point, where you feel that, and rightfully so, that it's been sensationalized to the point of hysteria. It's almost as if culturally, the cultural norm now is for sensationalism to be the headline. It's almost like that could get you voted into being president if we want to use our imagination. I mean, there's tons of ways you could. That's really a problem that as a culture that needs to be addressed. But
so I got actual numbers. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm not putting off what you're saying. Okay, I got actual numbers of how many times there were these words mentioned in the media, and these are this is all provided by info at InfoBeautiful on Instagram. SARS was mentioned 56.2 million times. HIV was mentioned 40 million times. MERS, MERS, was mentioned 23.2 million times. Ebola, 11.1 million. Where else am I? Pneumonia is mentioned 5 million times. Malaria, 5.9 million times. Okay. You want to know how much? So the biggest one is SARS right now. The biggest one is SARS at 56.2 million times. You want to know how much COVID-19 hashtag coronavirus is mentioned? 1.1 billion times. That's a lot, dude. And again, this is not a negative. I'm not saying this like some kind of loon on the fucking streets of Vegas going like the world is coming to an end. Don't bother with. Like, I'm not saying. All I'm saying is that we have lived through pandemics before. I think that all the things about not gathering in large groups, and I think that's all very smart. I think washing hands should be something that you should have been doing since you were a fucking child. I think it's very smart to do that. Not touching your face. My wife has been telling our kids that since they were born. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. That's how people get sick. I will say this. In the last 2 weeks that I've been on cruise ships, my wife has told me, she goes, hey, look, I know you're a grown up, but just want to make sure you wash your hands. And I will say this, in the last 2 weeks, I have been washing my hands more frequently. Not just hand sanitizer, but also, because I used to do that. Like when you walk into the dining room of a cruise ship, they offer you to either wash your hands, or they offer somebody's physically there to spray antibacterial on you, and I always just choose to go for the antibacterial. Now I'm kind of doing both. So in the last 2 weeks I've done that, and I've also stopped with the handshakes after the show. People will come shake my hand. Oh man, you were great. I stop people while they're reaching for my hand. I go no, and I do like either the fist bump or the elbow bump, like to be funny, but it's also don't touch me. But also don't touch me. And I think that these things are good precautions, but it's also, let's keep it in mind, we don't need to go fucking buy toilet paper by the dozen.
Well, for those of us that were waiting for the hysteria to die down before trying to get some kind of backup supplies, there's nothing. And that's another thing that needs to be talked about, is why do people... like this kind of me before you mentality is fucked up, because I understand that in a family of 4 or 5 people that you need to buy enough food to supply you for a week. But do you really need, like I saw this with my eyeballs this morning, do you really need to get 10 packs of ground beef? You're going to eat that in a week or in a year? And so now for households such as mine, that's made of 1 or 2 people, 3 at most, I got nothing. I can't find it on Amazon. I can't find it at Publix. I can't find it at Target. I can't find it at Walmart. And that's fucked up, because I need supplies too. And that just goes to speak on the fucking hysteria and the rabid consumerism that's the result of that. And everybody is making money off of it. And then those of us
comedians, we're losing a lot of money on this shit. We're losing a lot of money. Most people are making money off of it. But unfortunately, that's just one of the complexities of being alive in this time and age, is everything is sensationalized. And it's like, and the media, to your point, the media doesn't really take responsibility for the kind of influence they have over people. Regular people. So I know, like, cognitively speaking, I know that everything is going to be fine. And I'm not worried, and I'm not, like, panicking, or I'm not anything. I am taking precautions because I need to protect my immune system for personal reasons. But I don't think that's personal. We all need to take care of our immune system. I think that's actually, you know what? That's the very definition of personal. We should all personally take care of our immune systems.
Right. So then but what I'm saying is that cognitively speaking, but you know, I know everything's going to be fine, but I only know that I can only tap into the cognitive side of this whole situation because I've learned to manage my anxiety. And that's really like the point that I had was bringing that up, is that I can manage my anxiety, but it's still fucking there. And I'm still fucking going over it. And I'm still, you know what I mean? Like, there's still consequences to this shit. And if you have managed anxiety...
One second. What happened? ¿Qué pasó, papi?
Me voy a coger un chocolate croissant que tiene chocolate adentro.
Okay. Dame un minuto, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry, you were saying?
If you can manage your anxiety, you're probably struggling a little bit. If you have anxiety that's never been treated or never been managed, or you've never actually like stopped and considered it, respected it as an actual medical diagnosis, you're the one that's fucking hoarding all your fucking you're the one that's not leaving your house for the next 6 months. You're the one that's like that's something that needs to be talked about. Like, what causes you that kind of, that's not good for your health either. So it's just a complicated time, and I find myself on a Sunday doing Excel spreadsheets just to keep my mind and my like fingers busy so I can get some of this energy out.
Finger busy. Sorry. Anyways, if you can see we need to make this a video podcast, because your face to me right now, if looks could kill, I would be a doorknob. It's just
because shut the fuck up. That's why. Because you're the fucking worst. You're the absolute worst. And now, if it pleases the court, I'm gonna go back to my schoolwork.
No.
Again, you're laughing the hardest at your own fucking joke.
Well, it's easy to laugh the hardest when the only other person that's heard the joke is the butt of it and refuses, Your Honor, to laugh at it. So if I would have just gone, I would have been laughing the hardest at my joke because you didn't laugh at all. Because you're the butt of it. But I feel you, girl. I feel you. I think.
I'm the what? What'd you say?
I said because you're the butt of the joke. Because you're the butt of the joke. Of the joke. Anyways, it's a whole thing. But yeah. I have for the most part, the friends that I've been in contact with and talking to for the last week and a half or two, for the most part, they have been okay as far as their anxiety, as far as their reactions to this. I have a couple friends who have not been okay. But I get it. I understand the logic behind it. I just think that, needs to be, numbers need to be in check.
And the thing is that I think you've said it several times when we've recorded in the past that you don't struggle with anxiety. So you find yourself at a loss on how, understanding it because it's not something that you deal with. And I think that the important thing for people right now is to really to just be a little bit more sensitive about it. And how you're doing, where you're saying, that you understand that to meet people where they're at. You know what I mean? You can't shake somebody's worries out of them just by saying it's going to be fine. That's just, somebody that's already worked up like that shit doesn't really help. Yeah. So yesterday, I'm going to keep it very vague, but yesterday I had a very brief conversation with somebody about this, and they were like, this is the same they had the same perspective you did, but they fucked up because they were saying, it's the media's fault, everyone's sensationalizing, it's not even, and then that person was talking about it, but then all valid points, yes, the media has sensationalized it, that's the fucking culture we live in, unfortunately, but that's what it is now. And so, but then he fucked up because then he started talking about, well, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's a cold. That's not helpful to people who are genuinely concerned about themselves, about family members that are elderly and at high risk. That's not, and so that's where the assholery comes in, because you can agree or disagree that the media sensationalizes everything that they can get their hands on. And this is drawing people to their Twitter feed, to the TV, to fucking talk about it and have it an ongoing, turning it into the thing that it is. But where you turn into, not you specifically, you the person, turn into the asshole is when you're it's, it's not a big deal. Stop being dramatic. Or, that shit is not helpful. And it's not helpful because for people, and I've seen this a couple of times on Instagram, and it's actually been said to me. So that's how people know, so people know that I'm very open and honest about my mental health. And for regular people that are anxious and stressed and kind of the wheels are turning and they can't stop it, will die down for them when all of this dies down. For people who have the medical condition of anxiety or whatever you want to call it, this is a Sunday for us. This is how we fucking function in it. And in a lot of ways, people who have anxiety tend to be more calm in these situations because it's fucking white noise at this point. So I think that it's a complicated thing to talk about, but when all of this dies down, there should be a conversation, I think, culturally about why we're so fucking easy to bite sensationalized news.
Right. Well, I'm totally understanding. I think that I do think that this is a pandemic that we've lived through pandemics before. Obviously, we just talked about those that we lived through. I'm okay with all the people going crazy and people not that I'm okay with it. I understand where people are coming from because it's a medical issue, right? I hate when people lose their minds over political shit. Like, well, but you don't understand. My party's right and your party's wrong. It's like, and then when they make that their entire world, that bothers me. More so than this. This does not bother me because it's a health issue. I understand, right? And people have like, look, dude, I share. My elderly parents are through a glass door, you know, in my house. So I get it. This, you know what I mean? I even told my mom, I'm like, I'll go to the supermarket. I'll do whatever you need me to do for the next 30 days because I'm going to be here. I'd rather do that than you guys go. With that said, that's all understandable. What I don't and will never approve of is the fucketry that we've been talking about of buying 10,000 packs of toilet paper, of buying all the eggs and all that. Like, that's fuck you. That's just stupid. That feeds into the stupid. Like, I will never. And people are like, and I don't. Not that anybody's ever said this to me, but people, I can understand people. I could see people going, no, you don't understand. We're gonna be quarantined for 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, but I've said this to people. They've said, oh, but we're gonna be self-quarantined. I'm like, how much do you shit in 2 weeks that you need to buy? Like, just buy your regular amount of, like, first of all, who's buying their toilet paper day to day? Nobody, right? Nobody buys their toilet paper day to day. You buy a 28 pack or whatever pack of toilet paper you have, and that usually lasts you 2 weeks or a month, right? That's usually what, I mean, I don't buy toilet paper on a day-to-day basis. I don't even buy it week to week. If I buy it week to week, it's because I'm buying, because first of all, there's 4 of us in the house, and second of all, I would be buying a smaller pack. So if we buy a 48 pack, the Charmin 48, not to give any, not that we're sponsored by Charmin, but we will take that sponsorship all fucking day. But if we buy a 48 pack of Charmin or the Mega Roll, because you know we don't fuck with anything less than the Mega Roll here, the Ultra Roll, hell yeah, that lasts us for 3 weeks. So buy 2 of those if you want to feel like, oh, just in case, and fucking be done with it. But we've seen pictures online. Vanessa, my wife, has taken pictures of somebody at Target. If it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before, of fucking shopping cart full of toilet paper, and I'm like, how do you need, with one at the bottom and shit? I'm like, what? That's fuck. Like, I don't need that. I don't care. I don't agree with
that asshole that he went around. I think he lives in a small town. I'll send you the link, but he went around and he bought every single thing that you would want to shop for, including like cleaning supplies, toilet paper, all the kind of shit that everybody's like going after. He wiped out the entire small town, put everything in his garage, and then he was going to upcharge and resell it to the town. I thought it was
that he was selling it on Amazon for like $18 for a bottle of Purell.
He was trying, right?
And Amazon was like, no.
Amazon,
yeah,
he was trying to resell it on Amazon, and Amazon shut it down. So now he has a garage full of things. He's been featured on New York Times. They showed his face. I guess to purposely ruin his life, because there's no fucking way that guy's gonna go like live this down. And like, that's the kind of shit. Like, and then you see other sides of these things where I've seen it. There's some writers and some celebrities even that have gone out of their way to make sure to pump some kind of positivity into this. So like, there's a writer that I follow. Her name is Lovey, and she on her Facebook yesterday, on her public Facebook profile, was like, hey, if you're gonna take a hit from this, or you're in some kind of financial bind because you need whatever and you don't have it, like, put your situation and your Venmo, and we'll see like what the community will come up with. And in a matter of a couple of hours, she raised about $5,000 and was able to send it out to like elderly people that don't have money, or people that volunteered to like cover their Amazon cart because they don't have money, or so like people that live in the same town, and offered what you did for your parents, like to go to the store for them because they're elderly. Like, that kind of shit is the stuff that I would love to focus on, but it doesn't take away from the fact that like we are fucking disgusting pieces of shit sometimes, like as a human species. So on that note, can I go back to do my homework?
On that note, jeez. Anyways, so guys, I'm not going to be making much money for the next 30 days, so I have a CD that I want to sell. So if you guys have not purchased my CD, Nary Sign's Man-Child, make sure you go to Apple Music and purchase it. It's $9.99. It downloads onto your listening device, whether it's your phone or your computer, so you don't even have to leave. You could just be self-quarantined. That's the name of this episode, Self-Quarantine Day 1. So yeah, make sure you buy that. Check out the other podcasts on the network, including the Mount Geekmore podcast, and also the Better Let Me Tell You podcast, and the Comedy Fitness podcast. So make sure you just check those out at the geekbro.net. Again, that is geekbro.net. Missy has her birthday was on Thursday. So make sure she posted
with that noise.
She posted a birthday blog on her page. What's the page, Missy?
It's missywrites.com.
Missy Writes.
ISSYWRITES.com. You can find me on Instagram with Missy the Writer. And Facebook too, if you want to like my Facebook page. I'm at 65 followers, so I'm kind of a big deal.
So check out her birthday blog. She just posted it 2 days ago, so check that out. Anyways, check out the everything is at Nary Signs at whatwashisname.com. Everything, you can follow everything through that. And I will keep trying to pump these out because I'm going to be here for the next 30 fucking days, man. So I'm going to be home. So there's no more excuses of like, dude, scheduling has been so tough. So I'm going to try to get podcasts throughout as often as I can. And since most people are working from home, I don't see why they have any fucking excuse not to do my podcast anymore. With that said, thank you for checking us out. That's how self-quarantine is done.
I hate that sound.
Everybody does. Except if you're a tweaker, then you love it.
Did you stop recording or are you still recording?
It's still recording.
Oh my God, I gotta get done. Bye.
Bye. Pop culture, and it's funny, motherfucker.